All right, guys, we're back. We're here. College Football 26 gameplay deep dive. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment for all College Football 26 information going forward. We're covering it all. We're going to go through the trailer. It's going to seem really boring. There's not going to be any of the sound from the trailer just because we don't want to get in trouble for copyright. But once we get done with the trailer, we're going to move into the deep dive notes. And so that way that we can start to make a little more sense. But everything we see in this trailer, we're going to try to make sense of it, catch it, see it. There's any new equipment. There's any new kind of throwing motions, things like that, things that look like Madden. We're going to be calling that out right here. But yeah, make sure you guys turn on the notifications for all updates. I'm going to make sure to get you guys everything that you need and want to hear and all the new updates about the game. But let's go ahead and get into it real quick. So, right off the bat, we got college football later than Madden's deep dive. But look at that big hit right there. That's big. That's pretty cool. They're going to be going over a bunch of different stuff: playbooks, new player archetypes and abilities, wear and tear. We're going to be going over control mechanics, stadium pulse, and this physics-based tackling. I don't know if these are buzzwords. I've heard this stuff in the past. I don't know. The playbook expansions. I think this is going to be huge. It's going to be a lot of fun. 300 real world coaches. We already knew that. Now, this Rice playbook, this Rice pistol wing T thing, on the online competitive scene, people are going to be using this playbook a bunch. I can already tell they're going to. There's going to be a ton of plays in there. It's going to be fun for Dynasty as well. 2,800 plus new plays like formation and types. Okay, there's a pretty cool little motion right there by that. Looks like you could cut on a dime and then keep going. Some more rollouts. Looks like they're adding that. Um, Formation subs or formation for the playbooks. There's a lot of new stuff. So this is something right here. All right, so we're going to go over this in detail. Um, but these are all some of the abilities: coffin corner, mega leg, uh, field flip. So there's a bunch of different new kind of abilities that seem to have been coming into the game. I want to see how these mix with the archetypes. I think that's going to be really cool. Let's keep going right here. Battering ram. Okay. Okay, he just shredded through two people and then juked that guy out. So battering ram seems that's going to get nerfed. 360. That's back. But look at that. See how that was glowing? That means that thing got leveled up. I think that's what they were talking about here in this part of the actual trailer. And then this is the Heisman tier. So this is a Heisman tier ability. When you get hot, this guy now has the ability to make some like memorable plays that none of us will ever forget. And then look at that. What a throw. Scoreboard looks really great. I like that. It looks good. Now this looks very similar. And they're talking about right here that how the shorter quarterbacks are going to pretty much have a limited vision of view versus these offensive linemen that are taller than them. So it's going to be harder, a little more realistic. That's cool. I think we like that as well. Wear and tear improvements. So what they talked about here and what they really wanted to harp on in this was that we get fully customized, like they're talking about right here. To each person tailor it to how they want to, which is how the whole entire game should be. Make it a big sandbox. I've been advocating for that since we started this channel. Just give us all kinds of different playing types so every person can enjoy this game in their own way. That's the way to do it. Look at this guy right here holding his leg. I think that's pretty cool. He's hurt. If I'm the other guy in the dynasty and I see that, I'm sending all out blitzes on him. Physics-based tackling, really quick. Let's go over that. They're pretty much talking about they're going to be able to lay the actual, some thuds on these guys. Some heads are going to get popped back. So we'll see how that works out, especially on this. That's a pretty good tackle, though. That looked pretty good. Little sidearm. We saw the little sidearm pass right there coming out. That looked pretty cool, too. This control mechanics, this is something else. Dynamic subs. Okay, wear and tear strategic. Strategy, that looks like a big running back. That looks different than some of the ones we saw last year. I like that. Dynamic, quick. And we're going to be going over something that I saw in the notes right before we got on here. They added a gadget sub formation. I think that's awesome. Now this is cool right here. Now hopefully this fixes some of the O line, but I watched this next play, and then this D lineman still came out on the edge and still got it. So hopefully they didn't make an offensive adjustment right there. They were just showing on defense how you can make some changes. That stunt, I like that. That's looking realistic. I really like that. Now they're talking about here on coverages, about how you can change your different coverages, hide your shells, and do your custom zones. Like here, you can make it a lot deeper. So that guy that's bombing you with, like last year, we had Isaiah Bond, who could just, when the game first came out, you could just go streak and go yard the entire time. I think we can finally get ahead of that. So that'll be really nice to make those adjustments. Like the big hits. Stadium Pulse, what we're going to be talking about here and that they talked about, it's 2.0 now. So it's even more intense. It's louder. The plays, you can't even barely see the plays. When you're going to kick and you won't even be able to see time and stuff now. Me personally, I liked it. I know some of you hate it. Just allow us to where if we're in a dynasty and a commissioner and everyone votes on it or whatever, if play online, 2 people can vote on it if they want it on the game or not. Just all I'm asking for is I think it's cool, but it doesn't mean that everybody thinks it's cool. Okay. But all right, we're gonna pause right there. Make sure you guys pre-order. Let me know if you guys have pre-ordered. I'm gonna be pre-ordering. Well, we already pre-ordered our copy, but we're thinking about getting Madden 2. You guys let me know if you guys want to end up seeing Madden content. But let's go ahead and pause right here and let's hop over to these deep dive notes. All right, guys, we're over here now on the deep dive notes. I don't want to go over every single little thing with you guys. I want to hit kind of the quick, heavy hitting, big time stuff. We're going to start going over dynamic subs. No more pausing, just playing. I like that. Personally, sounds great. For as long as the football game has existed, more making substitutions meant pausing the game, diving into menus, breaking down. We've all hated that. I'm paraphrased right there for them. Including dynamic subs, a new feature bringing real-time roster management directly into the field. It's called strategic subs. Sub control, let's just read smarter subbing with tailored filters. So defense, you can manage your entire defensive unit at once. That's cool. Or quickly jump to specific groups like linebacker, defensive line. I like that. We want to be able to do that. On the image here, they show, got the running back. You can just kind of go. I'm imagining you're going to be able to hit a button really quick, pop up this fly menu, bring them in for the next play, let it ride. I like that. Reset the starters. You could bring the whole backups in if you wanted to. I like that as well. With a click of a button, don't have to hit the start button. That'll be really nice. These real-time health insights, these are going to be cool. Wear and tear indicators, visual indicators showing, body parts, things of that. That's all going to be the same as what we saw last year for the most part. Overall ratings, that will be nice to see all of them, kind of how they're dipped down. We can just kind of pop up about end of the first quarter. Hey, my star wide receiver is hurt. Let's rest him for a little bit and bring in a different guy. Why wasn't this always here? Let's read this. Reaction to fly subs has been awesome, and once you experience it for yourself, play without it. Intuitive, seamless. Okay, just feels really good. Okay, well, they didn't really answer that. Wear and tear everywhere, more depth, more control. So pretty much, I want to read this one statement from them because this right here, pretty much, let me find this real quick, guys. They had said something. It's down here a little bit further, but I like the sub your way, and I like how they come with some standard options for people that aren't really, hardcore college football players. They have a default, which is standard CPU substitution logic. They got to keep fresh, inspired by real world rotation strategies. Most of us will probably just keep it there. You got to grind it out for teams that want to keep their best players on the field as long as possible. Some of you that love your quarterback and your star running back, I feel bad for those creative players because we know that you guys are going to be right there. Custom, that's it right there. Most people, that's probably what we're really going to stay with. But right here, pain is temporary, dynasties are forever. This is talking about wear and tear. This was the statement that they made that I loved. So what they got right here is they talked about pain is temporary, dynasties are forever. Dynasty players were some of the most passionate fans of wear and tear system, and we recognize it is impossible to satisfy everyone's preference to a one-size-fits-all tuning. So why not put the controls directly in your hands? EA, listen to me. Just listen to me. If you don't listen to anything else, any of my videos ever, make the entire rest of the game that statement right there. Make that your mission statement for Madden and for College Football 26, and your games will thrive forever. If you guys agree with me, comment that down below, please. That's what we just want, customization for each player to be able to play the way they want to. Anyways, here's a whole list, as you guys can see, of all the different things that you have control of on the wear and tear. That's cool. Weather in the storm, they pretty much talked about how weather will impact injuries. So I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna have turf fields in this game. Comment what you guys think. Do you think they're gonna have turf fields, or you think it's just all gonna be grass? And if there's turfs, is there gonna be more injuries on a turf field? It happens in real life, apparently. Um, Visualizing the damage, more than just a rating. So last year, toughness. So toughness, they're talking about toughness rating is way more important this year. Um, this Heisman tier, I wanted to talk about that too. Heisman tier, taking elite talent to the next level. You guys need to understand this and know what it is. Last year's introduction to abilities laid a strong foundation for capturing the explosive, dynamic essence of college football. This year, we're building on that foundation, rebalancing existing abilities, introducing new ones, significantly expanding player archetypes, and delivering authentic moments that reflect true drama of Saturdays. And then right here, they've got this little thing showing that this guy is an east-west playmaker for that running back archetype. And this out-of-body experience, pretty much this is what this Heisman tier is going to be attached to, and it's going to be called an out-of-body experience. And one of the core objectives of this year is what we call an out-of-body experience, those jaw-dropping moments when an elite player single-handedly changes the course of the game. To achieve this, we've completely redefined ability scales. When a player gets hot, momentum matters more than ever. When a player starts to cook, their physical abilities receive substantial boost. If the player already holds a platinum tier ability, it automatically upgrades to Heisman tier. So if you guys in Dynasty, if you see a guy and he's got platinum abilities, you better go after him. You better be going after him because the Heisman tier abilities are going to be crazy. I know they're going to have to nerf these things. Some of these out of body experiences in dynasties are going to be wild. And play online, they're going to be wild too. With like a player like Lenore Sellers, if he's got some kind of platinum takeoff ability, and then he goes to Heisman, oh man, or a platinum 360 goes to Heisman 360. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. You'll know exactly when it happens. A green flash around the player's icon. So when you see this kind of green flashing right here in this little icon, the ability goes red. That's when you know it's on from there. And pretty much in this play in the trailer, we watched this. That guy was just, he pretty much put it wherever he wanted to. All right, now let's go over some of these abilities. We got battering ram, inspired by legendary contact-seeking power backs. If you are someone that has played a dynasty with me personally, and you're one of my friends, you know who you are if you watch this. If you watch this, comment down below that you'll be using the battering ram. I want to see if you actually watch, if you see this part. Anyways, inspired by legendary contact-seeking power backs, pretty much these things, when these guys give platinum to Heisman, they're going to destroy your middle linebacker. All right, guys, now let's start talking about hammer. We've revamped the hammer ability specifically for thumping linebackers and box specialist safeties. Pretty much these guys, this hammer is what we've all seen in the leaks. These guys will actually be able to bring that thump and make those heads pop back. Guys, we are only a quarter way in. I'm trying to go as quick as I can, trying to hit the highlights. We're going to be jumping from here. Okay, next thing we're talking about is 136 ways of Saturday. That's one of their, running slogans. 2,800 plus new plays, 45 plus new formations. Me personally, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I love plays. I love the variety. We're going to read over some of these things really quick. Pretty much what they're hitting on here, 25 plus more formations, 400 plays. What they kind of talked about last year's game, tools for scheming, adapting, dominating, building your tempo, power, versatility, basically a greater playbook individuality. That's what they want. They want teams to play like themselves, feel more authentic, and that's what they're going for again this year. Fresh concepts, real wrinkles. So misdirection is king. Talking about new plays like jet power read toss, and the counter bash. You've seen teams like Kansas State and Jacksonville State burn defenses with these. Now we can do the same. I love that. New motion types, reloaded, bounce, escort, and boomerang. Those are going to be cool. A lot of you guys like to run those schemes. They're here. Double motion plays. We've been missing some of those. Those are going to be in. Expanded QB runs and RPO variety. QB runs, that is me all day long, so I'm excited. I see right here, redesign QB powers. I cannot wait for that. But new pop passes, sprint out options, things of that nature. You got smarter routes. So you got that halfback choice, the Hoss wide juke and slot option. This right here, I thought this was really cool. this gadget packet by packages for formations. College football always has the guy, the do-it-all athlete that lines up everywhere. With our new gadget depth chart slot, you can sub that player, I think that's awesome, into specialized packages across multiple formations, whether he's taking a snap at a Wildcat QB or motioning from a slot to tailback. Guys, Percy Harvin, Tavon Austin, Tyler Warren this past year, the tight end of Penn State. This is what we've wanted in our dynasties. When we have a couple of those guys, we go get those generational recruits, and we can just put them all over the field. They can do a little bit of everything. Maybe they have 500 yards rushing, 500 yards receiving, 500 yards throwing. We can do that now here. All right, now they're talking about signature looks from the 2024 season. Penn State's shotgun gate, that's here. Their swinging gate variants, dual quarterback packages, Wildcat looks, O-line slot alignments, that's awesome. Ole Miss Wildcat do swing, that's going to be cool. Rice's pistol wing back, that's a lot of people are going to be using that, I'm telling you. Western Kentucky's Power Eye Hulk, ECU's Trup off over weak, and Duke's wide Y off trip stack. Those are going to be added in new. This is a new evolution of the veer and shoot, built off of 11U wide formation. So love to see that as well. So now we're talking about precision, vision, strategy, QB play. Basically, field vision, height finally matters. If you got a shorter quarterback, it's going to be harder for him to see over the offensive lineman. It's going to be harder for him to throw the ball over them. So just take that into account when you're playing the game, playing with your favorite teams, doing your dynasties. That's the biggest takeaway from that. Now we're talking about enhanced QB progression system. Basically, lower rated quarterbacks won't go through progressions as well as the higher rated ones we're talking regards to high awareness. If they have higher awareness, they'll go through multiple progressions faster. If they don't, lower rated ones, they'll struggle more significantly. Recognizing the heat last year, we saw heavy reliance on double mug. Yeah, we definitely did. So quarterbacks with higher awareness should be able to beat it based off of what they're saying with this new quarterback stuff. We'll see how that works. Okay, and now they're saying we're talking physics, boys. Pretty much, there's new tackling types. You've got a wrap catch tackle, in-range lunge content, and guys, pause this video at any point that you feel the need to slow this down and read. I'm just trying to get the Spark notes for you guys, so you can kind of see all what got talked about. The unprepped hit sticks, and then for skill mechanics, they've got timing and aiming on all one-on-one tackle types. So you've got a truck and stiff arm skill mechanics. You've got a core tackling improvements. You've got hit stick catch tackles. That's pretty cool. I like that. Quarterback hit improvements. Late hit throws. You've got the PBT tackle contact accuracy. Momentum preservation after contacts. And then you got realistic post-tackle movements. And now they're talking about stunts and twists. We saw that in the trailer. It's going to be a lot more realistic. That's what they're going for. How does it work? Glad you asked. Calling stunts is simple and intuitive. Let's read through this real quick. Right here, guys. So if you want to know how to do it, here it is. Here's your first how-to video from the 9 to 5ers channel. In the pre-play menu, press D-pad left, then R1 to access available stunt options to your current play. As soon as it comes out, the game comes out, I will get a video to you guys of how to do this so you guys know how to use it to help you in your online games or dynasties. There are 12 unique stunt types available to replicate real-life tactics. That's cool. I like that. Why does it matter? Pretty much they're talking about force O-line communication errors, set up mismatches, basically get a more realistic vibe is what they want. Disrupt rhythm and pocket integrity, and bring true strategy to the trenches. That's what they're wanting. Trench work. We're talking about this right here. Block steering, take control of leverage. We're going to see how that pans out. Basically what they're telling us is how it works is that once you engage, you press RT and LS, right trigger, push up left stick to begin steering. You can steer an interaction in any direction based on the player's strength, weight, and rating. So weight and rating and strength are going to be huge. So I'm wondering if the run blocking archetypes, the power guys, are going to be really big for Dynasty this year. We're going to be going over that in the upcoming weeks. There's 700 plus new animations they added. That's pretty cool. Gap integrity, reborn. We'll see about that. Smarter blocking mechanics, improved targeting system. We definitely have to have that. That's got to be there for college football 26. Schemes that now block with drastically improved clarity and accuracy, power, counter trap, and then the rest of these as well. So impact blocking and collision wins. Basically, they're talking about outcomes based off of weight class, ratings. So people are going to have to, we're going to have to see how this works out. Now we're talking pass protection, read, slide, react. Clarity, control, and responsiveness is what they're after. Higher targeting selection, untargeting defenders, simplified slide protection. We're talking about slide left and slide right on the stick left. So slide left plus right stick left. Okay. That's how we're going to do that. Talking about playmaker, flip for protection, built for matchups. They pretty much talk about the simplified slide protection. So that's a big thing. So what it means is that the trenches aren't just cosmetic. The gameplay is altering. And pretty much they want it to feel, real. Okay, now we got custom zones. Let's go ahead and read. How does it work? Here's how your custom zones work, guys. Some more tips, tricks for you guys. Pretty much what you're going to do is it's a great question. Simplified zone defense you want. You press A or X, A on Xbox, X on PlayStation. Then you tap L1, bring up the zone depth adjustment. From there, you can move the defender zone, drop up or back to fit exactly what the offense is throwing at you. So that's how you make those adjustments for custom zones. So if you need that, it's in here. Clamped. Let's go ahead and read that. We made it a priority this year to take defensive back play in college football 26 even closer to the action you watch every Saturday. This means smarter coverage reactions. I wonder if this means more interceptions. Deeper risk reward mechanics and excitement of challenge of authentic one-on-one matchups. Route commit. Call your shot. This person said I played Travis Hunter's last year's media event, playing college football 25. He shaded inside on me in a pre-shade on the pre-snap, and got beat. He turned to me and said, "I know it's a low chance to get beat with the shade, but I'm selling out here." So, anyways, this is pretty much what they're talking about. Commits, reaction times. I know I did see. So it says right here, this looks pretty big. Facing top tier receivers like Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, you'll still feel pressure, but the battle is fair. Winning means your leverage, timing, and position were all perfect. Losing means the receiving earned every inch of that separation. So this is going to be pretty big. Okay, guys, next thing we're going to be talking about is no eyes, no picks. We heard Ben Kirk talk about if your head's not turned around, no eyes, there's no interception that you're going to be getting. So I think that's a big addition. To the crib, they talked about here, they heard us loud and clear. Too many wide open interceptions. They said that's going to be fixed. You're going to get rewarded this year for your good coverage. So that's good. I'm glad to see that happening now. Now we're going to be talking about defensive playbook updates, new defensive formations. I'm assuming a lot of this stuff is coming from Madden. We'll see. But you've got the 3-4 tight, 3-5 flex, the single nickel single mug, and the nickel 2-4 single mugs getting added. Nickel load and the nickel 2-4 load. Returning formations, nickel 2-4, 2-4 double mug, and the dime load weak. Below is a sample of the new plays, so new defensive plays. I'm not going to read every single one of those. You guys can pause and see right there. But it looks like a lot of this is probably coming over from Madden. And new bracket plays included right there. And what they want to talk about is defensive guys get paid too. So enhanced run fit logic, playing fast, real sound, linebackers and safeties. They're pretty much talking about previous years. Second level defenders sometimes played on their heels, waiting for the ball. Apparently they're going to be more aggressive coming downhill. RPO integrity, they're probably going to be all over that this year, so you got to be careful running those plays. A smarter, sharper run defense. So we're going to see. Apparently it's all tied together. Better alignment, better schemes, coaching them up. So safety adjustments. So now safeties have depths. So it's not just the corners, right? So you can do close, default, deep, and prevent on the safety depth. You can do their width, same thing. You can do a default, spread, wide, and pinch. And then you can do a midpoint shift, which is left, right, strong, weak, and a field and boundary. That's huge. That's going to be huge adjustments for us. New RPO coaching adjustments. Control the rules. Take it a step further, RPO-specific coaching adjustments allow you to fine-tune how your AI defenders handle weak zone, reads, peaks, and traditional. So that's cool. So we can make the adjustments of how we want to guard RPOs if we're getting killed one way or the other. Show blitz, linebackers only. That's something that's added in. Okay, I hope this is real. I hope this is good, and I hope it works the way they think it does. This real-time coaching 2.0. Pretty much what they're talking about. A huge part of this leap comes from major improvements for internal tool sets, which allows them to make improvements. Basically, what it talks about is delayed shifts, motion information, real adjustments. So right here, one of the most noticeable upgrades in the introduction of delayed shift, defensive coordinators, they'll no longer show their hands immediately. That makes it so much fun playing against a CPU now. You'll see safeties rotate late, defensive fronts shift post audible to counter new threats. This simulates real life defensive disguises. Awesome. That's what we want. Pass defense. Now they're using the 9-box and concept tracking. Pretty much what it says right here, spatial backend intelligence system that tracks where your passing game is attacking. Using this, AI now understands not just where you're throwing it, but what you're throwing. So if you're doing motions, if you're doing, the kind of boomerang stuff, it's analyzing both of those and making dynamic adjustments based off of that. So that's cool, like that. Then now we're going to read over, it's the little things, switch stick, visual change, pre-play movement from Madden 25 comes to college football. A lot of Madden 25 stuff's going to be coming, guys. Be prepared for that. They're going to try to make them more aligned so they can make them standard game, copy paste, do that kind of stuff. Just tune the speed of the games. Pursuit has been tuned. CPU QBs getting out of the fake early and play action. Definitely needed that. I can't tell you how many times I've sent a blitz and just got the guys. Passing game, we extended bullseye accuracy system from last year in College Football 26. You'll see a much wider range of slightly inaccurate and inaccurate passes. Expect to see more bat down attempts, double moves, just as savvy offenses use double moves to exploit aggressive all-out blitz schemes in critical game moments. College football now enables quarterbacks to execute this. Home field advantage, we know this. It's going to be louder, tougher, and more personal. Same name, new energy. Apparently it gets more intense. Night games and rivalries. College Football 26, night games, rivalries. Modifiers add an extra edge to schools ranked among the toughest places to play. I like it. I like it. To where if you're going into Death Valley at night, it's going to be, and look, right here, it means LSU at night, the swamp at night. It's hard to win there. Where you line up matters. Hot route distributions now come. Depth, silence in the crowd. We've also added a new mechanic to give the away team a fighting chance. Momentum-based crowd silence. So apparently, now right here it is. This is how you do it. Now when the visiting team pulls off a big play, specifically a gain of 20-plus yards, resulting in a first down, you'll temporarily quiet the crowd. You better strike quick when that happens. The kicking gauntlet, they've made this a lot harder now. Swag out, pretty much talking about all celebrations, stuff like that's coming. The ability to walk or jog around after interception or touchdown. So I think that's kind of that open world stuff they were talking about. We'll see though. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything, guys. I tried to cover it as quick as I could, not take that long. Thank you guys for watching. The trailer looked great. There's a couple things we're concerned about, but we'll see when the game comes out. Overall, I'm pretty excited about this game. I think the archetypes with the new abilities is going to be a lot of fun. I think the dynamic subbing is going to be awesome. I think that gadget formation sub position is going to be awesome. But comment what you guys think down below of all the deep dive, the Dynasty, or the trailer. What did you guys like the most? What did you like the least? And make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you guys are up to date on all the updates as soon as they come out right here on the 9to5ers channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.